Well, welcome everyone. It is Rob. Hope you're having a fantastic day and happy Halloween to everybody. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number 1 in the chat box in that comment section. Let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. Afternoon, John. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Raleigh. All right. Got it, Lee. Rolando, how are you? All right, let's go ahead and get my camera on here. It should be popping up somewhere on my screen. There we go. Move some stuff around. It likes to hide, so I can't see what's going on. All right. Morning, Helen. Trader Will said, "What a great trip to New York. To New York. Absolutely, it was a great 2 days, Will. I know you were there for the one. You were there for Friday, which was the Inner Circle Mastermind Super Summit we did, but it was magnifique. I loved it, every minute of it, guys. I had an absolute blast. And those of you that at the end that helped us out with getting stuff, packed up and wires tore up and all that good stuff, I do appreciate it very much. Always helpful when we can get some of that. Good. Let's see. Erica said, I need to leave TradeStation. What are your thoughts about Tasty or E-Trade? Tastywork does not have the ability to do stops based on a stock price. So I would say be very careful there. E-Trade, I'm not a fan of any of those types of brokers at all. I think you might want to consider TOS. Now, of course, you could use anyone you choose. But I have Tasty and I don't use it. Right? They keep saying they're going to get that function in there and they have not. So I backed away from them a little bit. Still have an account with them, just I'm not actively trading anything in there. But take a look at TOS. They've got a pretty good platform, right? Very much so. All right. All right. Now we're starting to see some people coming up. Yeah, Trader Will said TOS works great. Anybody else have an opinion on TOS? Like it, don't like it? TradeStation, Erica, you can only open one instance. TOS, you can open multiple instances. You could open a paper trading. You could open another, a funded account as well at the same time. TradeStation, you can't. You've got to close one down to open the other one up. I do it all day long. I want a paper trade. I got to close my funded account, open up the non-funded account. So there are some things there. Yeah, Jeff said use it, but not paper trading. Okay. Brian said, just moving my account from TradeStation to TOS. Brenda said, I love it. Trader Will said, works great. Jeff said, are there issues with paper trading? I don't think so. How is paper trading on it? Well, Jeff said, fills are very liberal. Yes, that is true. Trader Will said, mostly accurate. Listen, guys, I can tell you right now, TradeStation, a couple of weeks ago, I had a trade that I crushed it, right? And I did it as a paper trade as well as a funded trade, right? But in the paper trade, I go to share it and it shows on the chart. I got in down here, you look over, it's about $5. I got out up here, it was like $13. When I go and look at the actual confirmation page, it shows I got in about $5 and I got out at $3. It never traded at $3. Never, ever, the entire day. There was not even a wick that went anywhere near that for the day, but yet that's what TradeStation showed me. And when I called and questioned them, they said, yeah, that's paper trading. It's not always accurate. Like, huh? So I've never paid close attention to it until that. Les said paper trading in TOS is almost worse. It says it's 20 minutes behind, but fills or does not at unknown price. You might wait 30 minutes for fills, and then you're immediately $30 down or up. It's hard to learn anything. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I haven't heard that with the non-funded. I had an account. I was pretty sure. Now I had a funded account, so I thought the paper trading was real time also. And Trader Will said the ones that mimic the live ones really close if not the same. And Trader Will said you can get paper to be live trades. Excellent. There you go. That's what I thought. So you got a couple things there, Erica, to work off of, right? Hey, I'm going to put a fan on. It's hot, man. Give me a sec. All right. It's warm. Less than, I mean, $300 up or down. I got out at the close before expiration and filled at half the price, out $700. Yes, hard to learn. Absolutely. And that's what my problem with TradeStation on their non-funded is. So Omega Charts does have the ability to do some trades in there as well. We, in our event this week, I didn't tell anybody that he was coming, but the person who wrote the software for Omega Charts, the owner of the company, was at our event in New York, both on Thursday and Friday. I did not tell anybody on Thursday at Brandon's event outside of Brandon. But at Friday, I introduced him to the groups in Inner Circle and Mastermind, and Glenn took just amazing notes of things he wants to do to make some adjustments for how we use Omega Charts. So my one main page where I have 20 or 13 charts on there, he's working on something to build that out for us as a template that someone could just download it and we don't have to worry about it. Just things like that. The zones I've got on my VIX, he's working on put that in there. So you may actually see more use out of Omega Charts, and we're working to try to get some brokers in there as well that are connected to it. Some others that more than that they have now. So let's see. Jim said, in TradeStation Sim account, I have seen you enter a limit order, and most of the time gets filled near that. If you do a market order, you never know what you'll get filled at. Yeah, and I had limit orders in the one day, Jim, and we, were well within that price, just sat on it, and hours later, I'm still not. I all of a sudden I hear order filled. I'm like, what was that order filled? From 10 o'clock this morning, I get filled at 2 in the afternoon, and we were nowhere near the price when it got filled. I don't know, Will. I haven't seen. Let me take a look at the SPY in a little bit. But so all right, let's go ahead and get started. Keep in mind that everything we look at is for education. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations, including the brokerage platform. Use one that best fits your risk profile. As we go through, guys, monster market movers. Listen, take advantage of it. Lee, drop the link in there now if you would. Guys, $29, holiday special, Halloween special. Yes, it's in November. It's Wednesday, right? I couldn't do it in October. We're doing 2 of them in November. 2 monster market movers. But take advantage of this training coming up. $29. You need the code. Drop that code in there, Lee. It's spooky with a capital S. In there. If you would please, that's the way that you need. Yeah, $29 is a steal. I saw you registered for it earlier, Will. That's Trader Will. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great price, guys. You will be blown away. There's a lot of really good candidates. I went through and finalized candidates today. I'll tweak them tomorrow, but I finalized the candidates today, and I'm loving that list of channels, that fibs. Trends I'm always okay with. I'm never great. The thrust patterns, awesome, right? So the code is capital S spooky, SPOOKY. Right, Mastermind is tomorrow night. Power Hour Coaches Playbook are both on track this week. How not to get your ass kicked starts on the 3rd, which is Thursday. All right, you'll start to see a couple of emails coming out about that. It is a free training. Bottom line is going to be this. I want to make sure that going forward, here on out, we do everything we can. I do everything I can to make sure that you do not get your ass kicked, okay? And you notice the dollar signs there in ASS, okay? I went through some strategies this week with Inner Circle, with Mastermind, that are going to blow you away when you see, and I'll introduce a little bit of it at the how not to get your ass kicked stuff coming up, but I will blow you away at the things that we do inside of there on what you could start doing immediately to minimize your amount of risk in your trades and to maximize your potential of being right in that trade. Also, to put your focus only on the most important candidates when the market opens, or whatever time you're focused on the market, and not looking at 20 candidates. I'm going to show you how to break it down to 5 or 7 or 9 or whatever, just to a much smaller number, 2, 3, depending on the size of your list. Okay. All right. Good. Erica signed up for that already. Brian, monster market movers are recorded. They go up the next day. So what'll happen in monster market movers is there's a ton of prerequisite stuff up there that you can go through. From there, I do a recording, which I will do tomorrow morning, I think. I'll do a recording of all my candidates so you can see where the fibs are, the channels are, the trends are. You can copy all the lines yourself. But of course, I give you lists of all of them as well. And then we do the 2-hour live training. Everything is loaded, the manuals, there's multiple manuals. Everything is loaded for the day of the event, right? For the day of the training. And then from there, the next day is when we put the live training in there, right? We've got to, because we don't finish till 10 o'clock-ish at night. So now we've got to process it and we get it all uploaded, and there's a couple of different hands that touch it. So you will see it on Tuesday up in the members area. All right. Excellent. Power option plays, covered call, E-mini, all on the regular schedule this week. Here is our followers page. Make sure you are. Follow along with us, folks. If you're not on all these platforms, stop right now. Take 1 minute. Go and register on one of them. Just follow along with us. It's a great opportunity to make sure you don't miss anything that we do. Yeah, I love this. Is that Jim Cramer? No, never mind. They should have put hair on me. What did they do? Guys, this is the class coming up this week, and then we've got 2 of them next week for those that are not able to get there this week. They're all 3 the same. You can come to all 3 if you want. That's fine, but they're all 3 the same trainings. All right, so we're not going to go there just yet. So let's go ahead and start off with trades. What trades did you guys do today? Amelia's off today. That's why there was no Trade Watch alert. She was out today. That's rare that she doesn't do that. But she had something she had to take care of. So she'll be back tomorrow, back in action again. So there's no trade from her today. I've got a couple that we're going to go through. So drop your trades in right now. And here's how I want you to look at this. I do this in market mornings in the morning. It is an accountability record is what it is, right? It's accountability. Drop it in. Share what you're doing. Put it out there to the world, to the universe, to whatever your higher power is. Put it out there and say, see, I'm not trying to hide it. Here it is. Here it is. All right. So there you go. Well, Trader Will said up 200% on SPY. That is friggin' awesome. I need a hammer here. Right. And here's the thing, guys. In New York, we were cleaning up. Underneath the table in the front was my Thor hammer. Forgot to take it out on Friday. Go figure. Right. Go figure. John said naked puts, Google and beyond, Wheel of Fortune on Amazon and INTC. Cash flow 1K. Ka-ching, baby. There you go, John. Excellent. Excellent. Erica said, great job, Trader Will and John. There you go. And I appreciate that. There's Rick. Woohoo. All right. Will said it was a very aggressive trade setup. Yep. I didn't find a trade to take today on SPY. At least not earlier today. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I didn't find anything I wanted to do in there. Nothing. It just kind of hung. Just hanging out there. You got the bounce in here, I guess about 11 o'clock, and it ran up to the midpoint. But I was not, at that point, I was already gone. I had way too much stuff happening. I'm not watching the SPY at that point. So I left it. I didn't take anything on it. You know, we moved up here. I thought this was going to be good. We retested and then we failed. All right. And then I watched another candle or two and I walked away from that. So bunch of covered calls today. Got some naked puts today. I did a naked put on Google. I did a naked put on Tesla. Both of those are done. I said this morning I was going to be looking at the Tesla. I gave the numbers. I gave the strike prices, the premium. We talked about all of that of what I'd be looking for on that. Right. Then one of the candidates from this morning was Apple. Right. Apple, there's talks of potentially 30% less output from one of the companies in China because of this COVID again now. And they call the town Little Apple or something like that, where, you know, everybody there is an Apple employee or they work for a product because of Apple. Right. And there's lots of government regulations going on and craziness. So Apple was down on that about $2. It's down about $2 now. So we were looking at a bear call spread somewhere above 157. So we had to go to the 157.5, 160s. I was able to get 60 cents on that spread. I don't know where it is right now. They've come back down a little bit from where they were. Let's see, come on. There we go. 57.5, 60. So 50. So it's about 60 cents still. So nothing's really happening there. Win, we were able to get 20 cents on Win. Let's see. Someone bought a big stake in Win, about 6%. We looked at a bull put spread above 58 cents, got in for 20, got out at 10. So that was a good one. Netflix. Couldn't get a good directional trade on Netflix. Could not get a good directional trade on Apple just based on where the stock was. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. So Netflix bear call spread, 302 half, 305. We're looking at $1. Right now we're at 292 on Netflix. So 302 half, 305. We're about $1.25 now. So it's a little bit underwater from where we were, but we've got a long way to go on Netflix. Like I said, we are 302. We're $10 away on our strike there, right? So overall, decent day, nothing crazy. But today really hasn't been a very aggressive day. We've had some move, but nothing that was out of this world, that's for sure. Let's see. Jim said, I'm thinking today and tomorrow might be the doji kind of days on S&P, waiting for Wednesday's FOMC announcement. So Jim, all right. And we're going to talk, well, I'll leave that. Yes, you're right, Jim. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll talk about the other part when we get to our topic for today. But I agree with you that we may, for multiple newsy reasons, we may not see that activity. Now with the Fed coming out, there is still a very high propensity of 3/4 point hike. From there, it goes down to a 0.5 point. Now, last time we had the hike, there was nothing else. There was no 1 point. There is still, but we got a few days left, but there is still some room for a potential 1 point hike in there, right? It's small, but it's there. We are still on a higher level of getting to 3/4 versus a 0.5. So that's what's expected, 3/4 this time, 0.5 next time in December, which would show that slowing down of inflation and all that good stuff. I don't see it. I don't know how many of you go to the store and buy stuff, but I am very much, when I shop, there are very certain things. I do all of the, whenever it comes to fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, that's me. I like to shop for that stuff. I'm very particular because I grow. I'm a grower, right? I've got an organic farm in my backyard on Long Island. Yes, a farm, 1,500 plants in a very small square foot amount of space, right? Some of you guys have seen my gagoots and my tomatoes this year, my cucumbers that were this big and so forth. My gagoots, baseball bat squash, tiny squash, right? So I go for that, and I'm very keen on prices. I know the pricing on that stuff, and I know when things are going crazy. When celery, which I use 2 heads of celery a day for juice, when I go with celery and we go from $1.29 a head to $2 a head now, and Stop and Shop goes from $2 a head to $3 a head, you can't tell me inflation's under control. In 1 week, they went from $2 to $3. And I think they called it extra juicy celery. Okay. 50% increase in a week? Nah, come on. Gas is still up there. It's still crazy prices. We're running that diesel fuel. Sorry, guys. There's a lot riding on what's happening with the Fed coming up this week. Okay. So I agree with you there, Jim. Brendan said, got in the queues this morning, 11:45, wrong time according to the trading clock, up $43. Okay, still in the trade. There you go. Paula said, small loss on SPY and a small gain on SPY. Call up 1%. All right, you're up. There you go. Yeah, not that kind of grower. Well, just vegetables, fruit. That's it. Everyone needs to grow their own vegetables, Erica. At least something. It's a victory garden, right? Grow some tomatoes. That's all. Just throw some tomatoes in the back. Let's see. Nice. How do you find the time for a large garden, or do you hire help? I don't hire help. I use a square foot gardening method. Once it's planted, it is watered by itself, and the way that I do a square foot gardening, there's very little weeds in that type of garden. So I use microclimates, and go pick the book up, guys. Square Foot Garden. Go to the library and get it. It's a great book on how to grow a lot in a very small space, right? My wife does a lot of the picking every day. She's out there every day. I try to go out about noon, not as much now because it's colder. And when I don't care about the cold, but what I mean is go out at noontime in the summer, and we got cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes, and I'm popping those things like they're candy. Right? I'll do 20, 30 cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, in a couple of minutes. It's a good appetizer to a salad, right? Erica said, I shop in Whole Foods for the most part, and produce is super expensive. It is. Good. There you go. Brandon got filled at $186 profit. Nice. Great job. Will said another $270 on the SPY double bottom. Nice. Karen said, I grow pot for, I saw it, Karen. I'm good. I grow in pots first, then plant. Easy indoor. Yeah. So I have a 55-gallon drum in the basement, which has a pump in it. It's got filtered water inside of it. and I have a 2-foot by 4-foot grow tray on top that the water circulates twice a day into the grow tray. It auto waters it, stays in there for a few minutes, then it drips back down into the same valve. I've got the grow lights that go on automatically, so all of my starts are done auto. I just put the seeds in, and everything pretty much happens by itself every day. Excellent. Here we go. All right, great job there, guys. Good job. So happy with what I did today, that's for sure. With the numbers from today. So let's here, let me make this bigger. I know it's hard to see sometimes. The more space I can take up, the better here. All right, let's go back into the presentation. And well, actually, no, let me go over and look at the S&P 500. That's a next. All right, beautiful. Okay. Let me make it a little bit bigger, a little bigger. Let's take this down. We don't need a symbol right there. Okay. So you can see that in the last little bit, let me just start this. Give me a sec so I can get rid of that little thing on the middle of the screen. Not what I wanted to do. There you go, Rob. That was just so bad. Are you sure you want to delete the recording? Yes. Okay. One more time. I hit stop instead of pause. Okay. Now I got my drawing tool out. So you look back at the last 5 days. This is today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So here we are on Monday of last week, 1 week from today, and we're in a neutral bias. And now we're in a bullish bias. We had a nice swing high yesterday. That swing high did not take out the highs of the previous from right here. That's what we're looking at. Getting really above a close of that 39.15 is exactly what it is. Close above, retest mounts, 8 crossing up through the 21 would give me a much better comfort level out there of being able to take a bullish trades there. But and again, we'll talk about this in just a few minutes. There's a lot of stuff going on globally right now that has to be considered depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish, what trades or investments you're trying to do. Okay. So when you look at today, we've got this doji day, which is what Jim said. Looks like today and tomorrow might be doji days based on the Fed, right? Tomorrow, well, when the Fed announces, any day the Fed announces, and if you look, you've got a couple things you want to watch out for. Watch here. So FOMC is Wednesday, right here, 2 o'clock, right? That's the statement. And then the rate, and then a conference at 2:30. Those are important. Down here, FOMC member Collins speaks. It's not that it's not important, but it's not the Fed. It's not Powell. It's a member, whether it's another president or what, it's a member of the Fed. So unless they are known for not talking to the party line, you'll see some of them will even be yellow, right? Because they just, whatever Powell said, they just say the same thing. But anytime Fed speaks, any Fed member speaks, there's an opportunity that they say something of, well, I disagree with it, and next time around I'm voting against this, or again, not the norm for them to speak out like that, but you want to look for the conference calls, you want to look for the Fed rate, the statements. Those are the ones that are important. Those are the ones that you're going to see light volume. So on Wednesday, you will see lighter volume during the day. The explosiveness of the volume will take place in the afternoon after that 2:30 time period comes out. That's when you'll see people starting to jump in. So day trade. You'll have low volume in the morning, right? Because you're going to see very little volume taking place. Usually, there's always something that could cause it to be greater volume in there. But right now we're in a bullish bias, not true bull. We can take a directional trade. We're just not wanting to take anything that's not considered aggressive. Right. So we would only take it as an aggressive trade, meaning we take less contracts. That's what aggressive means for us in power option plays, is lower number of contracts. So the question comes down to, are we there? I mean, is this the bottom now? Have we reached that point? We're back in bullish territory again now. We've been there a couple of days since the last week or so. Are we okay to start taking bullish direction? Folks, listen, there's so much else out there. And if we look at today's topic, my team was sweet enough to put pumpkins and bats and all that stuff on there. Oh my God, are we crashing with Amazon and Google? Felt like it when they announced, right? Sure felt like it. And I'm sitting in the back of the room Thursday. Brandon is teaching. Sean is sitting next to me. He's doing all the tech work, right? He's doing all our recordings and all of that. And he comes running over with his phone. He goes, look, and shows me Amazon at $88, right, in the post market. Now it opened up like 93 and got back up to 100 or so, right? But when you look at those numbers, folks, the only thing that saved it, the only thing that stopped the market from crashing, one thing and one thing only, was Apple. Apple came out with good numbers, good conversation, good expectations of where they're going. And that's the only thing that has salvaged it. But you need to sit back and write a list up of what you see coming up in the near term of can or will that potentially affect the overall market. What is probably one of the biggest things that can and or will affect the market, one direction or another, can be the election. Who wins now? How long it takes? How many elections does somebody say, no, I don't believe it? Who won? And there's a fight and recounts. I think it's going to take weeks to have answers on an election. I don't understand in a society as great as we have today with computers, how it takes weeks to do anything at all. I just don't get it. Okay. By us, you do your vote, scan in your paper, and you're done. I mean, it's scanned in. It's a computer. Why I got to recount? It's a computer. Okay. So the elections could definitely cause strife. Who wins House? Who wins? Who the winner is Biden have any power left in government? Is he not for the next 2 years? Whatever. Does his son get arrested? I'm not saying he should or should not be. If these things happen, if that happens, does that cause concern from the American public to the president? Does it cause concern from other nations to the president? I don't know. Right? But I do know these are the things that can have massive moves on the market. I do believe the market is going to move dramatically one way or another based on who wins in the elections. Right? I'm talking about which party wins. And again, I'm not here to do a political conversation, but you've got to look at that and say, this is something that can affect the market. So how willing are you to go and start putting money in there for swing trades and or investments before that? Now, you may want that. That may be your thing of, I think this party is going to win. I think this is going to happen. And I am going to take trades based on that. Right. So I'm going to buy calls or buy puts based on who I think will or will not win. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you go into it understanding that there's a lot of things that can happen, can transpire between now and then that could cause the direction to not be the direction you want. All right. So are we crashing with Google and Amazon? We did there when they came out, right? But that was very short-lived. And they're major companies. You're talking about two of the largest companies. Amazon has one of the largest options trading going on every single day of every company out there. All right. It's amazing. Amazing Amazon. How many contracts they trade every day, as does an Apple, as does a Google, right? But two major companies come crashing down and we have grown or gone up since then. Again, Apple being the reasoning behind it. So there are still some big earnings coming out, not as many. See, I try to keep my desk a little bit clean when possible. Bookings coming out, I'm not really too concerned with that. Home Depot is a big one, but New York Stock Exchange stock. PayPal, yeah, okay. Roku, they're decent. Square, I mean, these are ones coming out soon that we look on in power option plays. Apple is gone. Costco is gone. Google is gone. Goldman is gone. MasterCard is gone. Meta, whoo, did they get crushed? Netflix, they're doing awesome. Nvidia, I mean, these are all ones, Tesla, these are all ones that have had their earnings already. So a lot of this has already transpired. It's taken place. The earnings built in. It's not that we're crashing. It comes down to this. You need to know what's coming up. Look at economic reports, look at news, common sense, election, right? Look at some of that stuff and make a decision what you see happening. And if you don't know, then best to not be in that market. And when I say no, I don't know. I've got trade setups based on it, but I am going to trade more cautiously than I normally would, meaning less contracts, less different trades, very specific types of setups, more spreads and things like that, that I minimize my risk in that trade. Still want to partake. I just don't want to be a big risk. Okay. Let's see. Where is my mouse? Oh, there we go. Okay. A lot of questions. Let me go look at that. Deborah said, looks like they've got a new addition on their, yeah, there you go, of square foot gardening. Either one, I mean, it's good no matter what it is. So Jim said it's not a fib number, nor do a lot of people follow it, but you put the 100 SMA on the daily SPX chart. We closed right at it on Friday. At the moment, it's holding at as resistance. There you go, Jim. I use 89, by the way. So in Brennan said in some states they can't even start counting the ballots until after the election. Yeah, and that's okay. Listen, every state's got their thing of what's right and wrong. Erica said, I don't think Google is close to a bottom yet. Apple is resilient. Apple's taken a bath too in the past, though, right, Erica? I mean, they've gotten smashed as well. 2 or 3 earnings ago, it was right where they got hammered for what they had come out with and done. So. But I agree. I don't know if we're near a bottom yet either. I do have naked puts on Google. I do have naked puts on Tesla. I don't mind owning more. I only have 10%, 20% of what I want in both of those. So I am good. If I get exercise, I get exercise. Yeah, Jim said computers can be manipulated with the elections. Absolutely. Erica said, geez, you're a bit concerned about the shares I own in Amazon and Google. So what do, Erica? You buy puts. Sell covered calls, whatever you take in for premium on covered calls, spend every penny on a put. Buy a put. Protect the downside. You won't protect all of it. That's what I did last week. I bought puts on Amazon to protect that downside. Right? I didn't make it all back. It still cost me $2 or $3, but it wasn't the same as if you watch Amazon drop $10 overnight. So there definitely are some things that you can, some things that you can do, right? Some protection that you can put in there. All right. Fantastic. So what stocks do you guys want to take a look at? Drop them in. What stocks do you want to look at today? So we were at our training last week. Some of you know Roman. He's in here regularly. You'll catch him occasionally in market mornings, but market mornings comes right about the same time as a trading room, a live trading room we have for the Inner Circle members. So it's hard for him to miss that and come in there. So one of the things he does is he has this button on his desk. It's like the button from Staples, right? Type button. And he has this on his desk. And he came to me in the event on Friday and said, listen, I bought enough of these for everybody in the room. Is it okay if I give everybody one? Yeah. So Roman passed them all out to everybody. And what Roman does is when he places a trade, and I don't know how well it's going to come across the microphone, but listen, he presses this every time he places a trade. It says, follow Rob's rules. Okay. I recorded it the best that I could. It's still a little bit jumpy. It might be the size of the room I was in when I did it, but keeps it on his desk as a constant reminder, right? And you can get real funky with it if you want for your spouse or significant other or kids, and knock it off, go clean your room, whatever, right? You can really have some fun with this stuff. We may program that in the computer at the office with the push button I've got there, like the hammer. Some of you see me with the hammer there. So yeah, before he places the trade, just to be sure he's not messing things up. There you go, Will. Exactly. Drop the trades in you guys want to take a look at. Jim said, wow, I put the 89 SMA on a daily chart. It's right there at the 0.618. Yeah, 89 is an amazing number. So Jim, for me, and you got it right, it's 89. Everything up to 55, including 55, is exponential. I know most look at a 50 as simple. I do not. I look at it as exponential. Once you get above 55, which means 89, the 89 and above becomes a simple moving average, right? So spot on with that as far as it being simple. All right. Les says, what happens if you have options on Twitter and they expire before they return to trading? So if you have an option on a company that is not trading them and they expire, then whatever is going to happen at the end is going to happen at the end. If there's cash value, they're going to give you the cash value. Oh, let me back up. That option is either going to expire worthless or it's going to have intrinsic value, and you're going to wind up buying the shares of the stock for it. So not a fun place. This was 9/11 when this happened. 9/11, they shut everything down for how long they did, and all of a sudden the market opened up right after expiration. It's like they did it on purpose. right after expiration, and you would be exercised. I had calls, so I had no value left in it, but I couldn't sell them. It was just nothing I could do. It was government said, sorry, too bad. Haha. Time to move on. All right, so let's see what you guys put in there. Brenda's got Qs and Apple. So let me go ahead and take a look at the Qs first. Come on, baby. There you go. I knew you could do it. Okay. So the Qs right now, we're in between all of our moving averages, guys. That's always the toughest part. For me, I would very much like to see the Qs go back down again. Again, I don't think we're done going down. I really don't. I don't think we're anywhere near done going down at this point. But we're just kind of hanging out in there. I mean, Qs right now are down $3 today. Right, $3.22. So, you know, it's a shaky day. We gap down, we stretch into the moving averages, we bounced, we failed, right? We're playing around in there. But for those of you that remember the phraseology, see the moving average is moving right now, so you can't see it, but very slightly below that 21, the green line is the wick right now. So what's happening is we're chipping away at the ice. All right, we're chipping at that ice, breaking it away, right? Breaking that ice away, giving permission for the stock, the Qs in this case, to go back down, okay? Opening up a door as a potential, not at will, opening up the door that it can go back down, right? The bears attempted to go down, we pulled it back up as bulls, let's say, and then boom, it comes pushing back through that level again, right? And usually when you see that we broke the ice, right, that we chipped through, the move down is stronger, right? The move down is stronger. So let's go back over here. So Brenda, either down below 275 for a bearish entry, bounce off of the 8 moving average, which is 277 for a bullish entry up to 283 on Qs, right? And then we've got Apple. So Apple pulled back today, bounced. So realistically, when you look at this, that's not a bad move in consideration with the potential 30% drop in volume in their business for their iPhones, right? Because they can't get their hands on the parts, the components, and it can only be one part. Listen, I'm waiting for one part for a car for 6 months. One part sitting in Ford dealership, the car. We actually went and bought a brand new car because we couldn't wait for it. And what do? You rent a car for 6 months at $100 a day? No. I mean, that's a whole brand new car, right? At $100 a day. And that's about what they are with taxes and insurance and all that stuff in New York. That's like $65, $75, $65, $75 a day base plus fees and taxes and so forth. So I like where it is, Brenda. If you can get the bounce off of there, and we're talking about 152.68. If you get the bounce off there, 157 is resistance. If you fail, I'd be very careful on any kind of switch back on this because we're in the middle with our 8 moving average. I hope that helps, Brenda. Let me know down below. Trip said AMD earning. So we got the Trip trio. AMD is the first one. They've got earnings coming up. When's their earnings, Trip? We talked about these guys a little bit this morning. So you can see the whole fib in there. And just kind of flat-ish. But I don't know what's going on. My data is really slow today. I think I need to restart the computer because sometimes, like now, I'm not getting a print on the candle. So it's still showing me data from Friday's close. We're down $1.85 right now, which puts us about $60. So we're down here. So we're still in that rectangle, Trip. We're still in there. Earnings for tomorrow, Trip said. Okay, yeah, so caution with it. There we go. Finally, did it pop and I just didn't catch it? Maybe. All right, so finally, we're still within that rectangle. Still within that rectangle there. So I'm looking for the breakout of the 61, Trip, on the upside, clear and concise entry up to the 66. If it breaks to the downside, we've got support at 57. So I'm not as excited to the downside on it. Unless we gap through that 57, retest and fail, then we're looking at 52.5, which would be nice. All right, IBM is next. All right, see, this one came right up and gave me the 31st. All right, so oy vey. I don't have a new redraw on it, Trip. We need one. I don't have it yet. I mean, this is a nice move. Good thrusting pattern there, but I don't have one to draw on it yet. But with that, right now we're looking at 136.26 is support and 139.34 is resistance. If we go back historically, the last time or previous to this, I didn't have fibs. I had a channel drawn on there, and that channel worked amazing. But I did have a fib back here, right? So if we break out of the 139, it looks like 142 is our next upside target, and from there it's 146 to the next upside. All right, and then we've got Micron, MU. And if you guys have others you want me to look at, drop them in. All right, so Micron, come on, print. See if we change charts. That didn't help. All right, let's go look at MU. So we're flat. We're up 12 cents right now on it. So there's really nothing happening at all on Micron, Trip, right? So we had earnings back here. Yeah, right now Micron, we're at 54.14. So get down below the 53.5, retest and fail down to 50.5. So about a $3 move to the downside on Micron. All right, I hope that helps. Let me know down below there, Trip. Ellen, did you see the cues when I did it for Brenda? If not, I'll gladly go back and do it again. Kevin asked, can we look at Oxy for bullish? You got it. All right, so let's get a bigger picture. Let's see where Oxy is right now. They're up 54 cents. Okay. Oh, let me bring this back up. All right, so $5.31. 72 to 80 is $8. All right, so we need a fib in there. So we need a negative 809. We don't have. Minus 0.809. All right, and right now we're up at 72.5, we'll call it. So right about here, not much. Oh, there we go. We printed. We got it. All right. So that's the candle right there. Let's scrunch this down a little bit. So I like the bounce. If you took the trade on Oxy, this was Kevin, I think, right? Yeah. So Kevin, if you took the trade on Oxy, hopefully it was on the bounce off of that 72 and the move to the upside, right? You got 75.86 as resistance, but keep something in mind. We've now been here twice. So about 74.25, you may choose to tighten up your stop a little bit as you get close to there. So if it does back down, you're not giving too much of it back. And then open it back up again if it does break through. So Tripp set a new fib on Oxy. So do we have one? Well, I don't have anything bigger on it. We don't have fibbits of fibbits. We don't. So, oh wait, but we closed above the 618 here. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, we just don't have a great place to draw from. It's very ugly. Can't draw here because it's given back already. We don't really have one here. So we definitely need to look at a new place, Trip. I agree. Brendan said, I never heard of the 809 on the fibs. What does it mean? It just like every other fib level, Brendan, this is just, it's the way we split that level in half between the negative 618 and the negative 1. Right? So all we're doing here we go. So if we take 1 minus 0.618, that gives us 382. That's the difference in there. So how do I get the difference? How do I get to the middle? If I divide 382 by 2, That's 0.191. So if I add that to 0.618, it gives me 809, Brenda. Did that make sense, or did I go too fast? I know, because I'm sitting here going, yeah, that might have been a little quick. Does anybody need me to do that again? You can just give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is anybody here? Okay. All right. All right. So I've got both 1s and 2s. Okay. So here, let's do it this way. All right. So let me clear this off. I don't know if it's going to let me keep that there and use it at the same time I'm using this drawing tool. Let's see. So the distance between -618 and -1 was, what did we say, 0.382? 0.382. Right? Yeah, I can't. It won't let me do both. All right. So if I take 1 and I minus 0.618, 1 minus 0.618. So the distance between the 1 and the negative 1 and the -618 is 382. Right? So I want to split that in half. So you could easily just say, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and split this level in half. Wrong one. This one here. I could easily go split it in half. It puts that line at the midpoint. This one just gives me an exact line, Brenda, that I don't have to guess the numbers. Right? So I take that 382 and just cut it in half. Why do I cut it in half? Because that gives me what's on each side of that line from here to here and from here to here. Same thing, same number. Or the equivalent of the 382. And I just add that, was it 191? 191 plus 618. I think it was 191. 382 divided by 2, 191. Yeah, the 191 and the 618, and it gives you 809. All right, so that's where that came from. So Trip said we didn't violate through Trip. So I'm looking here at this move. We definitely violated on this. If we come down, I guess the bearish one. So problem for me, Trip, is it makes it almost untradeable. What I mean by that is we're talking about, well, I guess it's about $2 in there. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay, but we're getting pretty close to violating it already at this point. But it's not bad, Trip. Good catch. Really good catch. All right, good. IBM turned out to be a true bull today. There you go. Let's see. All right, so I got Oxy. All right, good. All right, Ellen. Good, Brenda. Good. Let's see. I got the 809. Amazon is 2 blocks away and the dogs are barking. Right? Yeah, so Will said 829. That's what Trip was seeing right in there. Absolutely, guys. You're spot on. Spot on. Got lots of 1s and 2s. Yes, so you and Trip are in agreement with taking Oxy to draw fibs. I mean, with the new fibs on Oxy. Yes, Will, you're right. You're right. All right, what other candidates you guys want to look at? That was the last one, folks. So Amazon, all right. Deer, got it. So here's Deer, DE. Good. I like this fib. This was a strong directional move, bullish thrusting pattern. Pull back to the 618, gave us an upside down H pattern, and it rocked well beyond the 2.5 normal lines. It went 3, it went 4, and now it's at a retest. So 368 to 393, 78, 88, 25. So we need fibbits on both ends. So we're going to put a negative 136 and a 118. Okay. So on Deer, and this was Jim. So Jim, on Deer, I would love the retest. I mean, yesterday was the day, right? We got the retest, we got the bounce, beautiful. But right now, I'm not willing to get in at 398.5. I need closer to that 393 level first, 394, maybe even 394.5. But I need it to move down a little bit first and then bounce. If so, just below 407. Right about 403.5 is where I would set my target at. I'd set my target at 403.5. Okay. So I like it. I like it a lot. Brendan's got Amazon. All right, so this is still 28. There we go. So we pushed up a little bit today and we failed. We're back in that blue zone. Not surprising. You know, yesterday was just overreaction. Friday, just overreaction and a pullback to the upside after their announcement. So not surprising whatsoever. But that 102, 100 level are key. Next downside target is 93. And that's about where I am with my puts, is right about 93. Right, on Amazon. All right, hope that helps. Let's see, NXPI post earnings. And that was Trip. Okay. So I don't know their earnings date, but they're looking very ugly no matter how you slice it. It looks like we've got room down to the 140.33 level. 146.62 is the moving average. 146.62 is price. So we're right at our 8 moving average right now. Right. So break through that level, and there's the opportunity down to 140. We move $7.50 now. $6.50 a day. Cutting in half the wrong numbers. $6.50 a day. So we've got about $6.50 more to support. So it could be a 2-day move to get all the way down there. But we definitely have the room for it. So I like it, Trip, a lot. Jim said, thanks for the input on Deer. I took some notes. Excellent. And then last one is Caterpillar. Brenda's got cat in there. C-A-T. Ooh. All right. So we had news on cat today, wasn't it? Was it today? Yeah, they got a downgrade from UBS. So much for that downgrade, huh? I mean, they're down 3.23. I shouldn't say that. They're down $3.23, right? So the interesting thing was they ran up to the 219 and failed. So I like where it opened. I like where it pushed up. I like how it rolled over. So we were looking at a bear call spread above 219. So how cool would it have been? Was it 219.06, right? Let's see what 219.06 looks like. All right. Let's bring it in. So we pushed up. We got to a high here of 218.87. So 13 and 6, 19 cents away. We closed here at 218.25. So we had about 80 cents of distance in there. And then we pushed up. We're not going to take the trade until at least $1 off it anyway. So this set up as a really nice potential bear call spread, which we're looking for it above 219. On Caterpillar, we'd have to go to 220s for the calls. And you can see those calls at one point had a high of 360 in there. And right now they're at 224. So not too bad whatsoever. Pivot today, you talking about Trip on Caterpillar? To 11 and 19 is 8. So we're okay here on CAT. Oh, NXPI. Oh yeah, we've got 14 points now. We definitely need Fibbits. We need both the 118 and the 136. Absolutely do. Again, good catch, Trip. Jim said, Amazon, I heard in their earnings call, they said it was going to be the worst Christmas shopping ever. Did you hear that? So I didn't hear worst ever. Not that those words, that doesn't mean I didn't say it. I did hear they were expecting struggles through the Christmas season. So yes, I heard it was going to be worse for them. With that being said, it's believed that, credit card debt has come down a little bit, which is good, just in time for Black Friday and to Christmas. But it is believed that people are going to put some money on their credit card. So I don't know. Do I think that could be some effect? Absolutely. But really, bottom line is going to come down is what does the election do to the markets? The election drives the markets up. People are going to feel good. I mean, it's hard not to have a job these days. What, 3% of people don't have jobs in the US? That's it. Right? I'm one of them. I am unemployable, although I'm not on their rolls, right? There's only 3% of people are claiming unemployment. That's the better way of saying it. You're welcome there, Jim. Excellent. You got it. Trip said, thanks, coach. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. So remember, guys, go ahead and get registered. Where did it go? Where did my page go? Go ahead and get registered for the Monster Market Movers. And remember, you need the code SPOOKY, capital S, right? POOKY. It's $29 for this 2-hour live training. 29 bucks, right? Take advantage of it, right? Make sure you get in Trading Coach's Playbook for this Friday. Guys, you need to show up. You need to show up. You need to show up. And certainly get in How Not to Get Your Ass Kicked. All right. With that, I'm going to leave the room open for a couple of minutes so you guys can grab those links. Have a great rest of your day. God bless. And I will see all of you at our next update. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye for now.